but probably just because of how nerve-inducing and how crazy it was, just probably giving the speech at the farewell ceremony in front of everybody. It's just everybody. Um, I don't know, I just kind of I wrote that speech in almost a dream, and then I was like, well, I need to give this now, and it was relating the whole experience to Momotaro, which goes back to the whole Momotaro experience my junior year in class, and just felt like it culminated everything.
My name is Ryan. I'm 22, and one of the strongest memories from Japan trip was the Monkey Mountain, where we had to mess with monkeys from behind a cage. And remember, one had one eye, and I looked him in the one eye, and he got pretty upset.
That would probably have to be a tie between Kiyomizudera and the Hiroshima Peace Park. Kiyomizudera was just the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. It was springtime. There was sakura everywhere. There was the porch that was made with no nails. It was this amazing lattice, all made of. It was amazing, and it was nighttime, and all the trees were lit from beneath, and none of the pictures came out, of course, but it's just ingrained in my mind. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been. I want to go back sometime. And then Hiroshima Peace Park was just so incredibly powerful. Seeing the grass and the flowers growing there after they were talking about, they weren't sure if after the radiation, if anything would ever grow. It was just, you know, nothing quite like it. And then we went and got okonomiyaki, and it was delicious.
I remember when we visited KJ, my host brother got some of the other American boy students together, and we went to the PE classroom during our lunch hour so we could have a judo tournament, a sumo tournament. It was just a silly wrestling game where if you go outside of the boundaries, you lose, and if you fall over, you lose. Being on the small side and a little on the light and weak side, I really enjoyed this because it turned out that each of the members of the judo club from our sister school could just pick me up and set me down on the floor, which was hilarious, and everybody got a kick out of it. It's really one of the memories that I treasure. Standing ready to wrestle against this Japanese boy larger than me, and as soon as I put my shoulder into his chest, he just lifted me off the ground and set me down on the floor.
Just how naturally everything came in terms of cultural and physical differences, and I didn't really culture shock wasn't really part of the experience for me, and I guess that was the most unexpected thing.
Well, this one night in Kyoto, we were just walking around by the river, and there was a rock band just playing on the banks of the river. They were called Noise Up Track. I haven't really checked in on them, see if they hit it big, but it was a lot of fun. We just kind of hung out and danced by the banks of a Kyoto river to a rock band. Some of the other people on the trip bought their promo. It was a lot of fun. Bankure Sensei singing Karma Chameleon. That was quite entertaining and unexpected.
Because of the whole experience and everything, I feel like I've really just kind of abolished any semblance of the different is bad. No, I didn't air quote for the whole time there. Whatever. The whole just kind of different is bad mentality that just kind of happens sometimes, or different is weird or strange, or just different things can be easy to make fun of or just poke fun at just because they're different. And while, there are still times when you can poke fun at things and not actually, mean anything of it, but it's just I've lost all kind of mentality of actually just kind of putting something in contempt because it is different than what I'm used to or whatever.
Well, I suppose just when you go and experience another culture, especially one that is as culturally removed from the US as Japan is, it just gives you a better sense of humanity in general, you know? There's so many other ways to live life. Um, so many things that are important, the politeness scales and all this stuff, the way you interact with people, what's polite, what's impolite, what's offensive, what's funny, all these things. It just gives you kind of an inkling of the breadth of the human condition. Is that too platitudinous? I thought it was magnificently meaningful the entire trip. It it busted my world clean open in a great way, in the best way possible.
For me, at the time, I didn't I didn't have any idea of continuing on to graduate school after getting my bachelor's degree. I really wasn't sure what I would major in college. I didn't know any of those things, and that's fine. That's to be expected in some families. But looking back, from where I am now, I can tell that learning Japanese with Mr. Van Cray and participating in his exchange trip was the beginning of something greater. And the experiences I had there served as tools now in building towards my career goals. Personally, I'm hoping to develop a research project based around the Japanese music education system. And if I hadn't been able to sit in on band while I was at KJ, our sister school, then I wouldn't have thought when I went back to Japan later as an exchange student for a whole year that it would have been appropriate for me to join band full time, which I did. Later, I went to music school to get a bachelor's of music, and these memories of being in Japan and experiencing music just stuck with me. So again, the opportunity to visit Japan in a structured environment with such a wonderful leader like Mr. Van Cray and the other adults who come along, certainly, it just is a great chance to get a unique experience, and it can serve as a tool in your longer career goals in unexpected ways.
Um, the trip stayed with me because one of the guys I met at KJ High School, I'm still friends with today. So
I still talk to people about having gone to Japan in high school. I talked with people at work, like every new job I get. People are like, "Oh, well, blah blah blah. What's this? Blah blah blah. What have you done? Where have you been?" And I say Japan, and people are like, "Oh, cool. When did you go to Japan?" And I say, "At high school, I did an exchange." And they said, "You did an exchange to Japan in high school? How? Why? That was so cool. What school did you go to? How did you get that experience? It's amazing. It's amazing." And I said, "Yes, it was amazing, and I loved it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world." It was full of cool people. I saw all kinds of cool things. I ate a bunch of awesome food. It was just the most amazing thing ever, and I think that a whole lot of people should be able to experience it. I loved it.
Hi, I was on the 2005 Japan trip, and one of the things that really stuck with me was our trip to Kyoto. We stayed there for a week and just really getting to visit a lot of wonderful places. We went to Sanju Gendo, Kiyomizu-dera, Saka Jinja, Gingakuji, and as a high school student, being able to see some of these wonderful temples, just beautiful architecture, it really stuck with me. It was really a really great thing to be able to do, and something that I always remember. Um, Something unexpected for me was how close I was to my host family after only staying with them for a week. It was really amazing. My host family was so wonderful, and me and my host student were really able to connect. And we're really great friends even like 6 years later. We still visit each other, and we still keep in touch all the time. So that's like really amazing to be able to establish friendships that last, even on such a short trip. is really just making permanent relationships. That was just really amazing. The trip really changed me just in the sense that being a high school student and going to a different country, especially somewhere as beautiful and with such a rich culture as Japan, it really does something and really expands your understanding of different culture, of just a different way of life. And it's a really wonderful experience I think that every student should have. And the trip has really stayed with me because I'm currently a Japanese major at Stanford University. I returned to Kyoto in fall 2009 for a semester, and I was able to visit a lot of the same places that I visited on the trip. And I also was able to connect with the ETHS students who came to visit that same fall, and I was able to talk to them and share my experiences, and it's really like a life-changing experience. It really is, the way you connect with students over there, and just, it's such a wonderful thing. It's really impacted my life, and I think that any student who is passionate about, Japanese, about learning about the culture, should have this opportunity, and I think that they'll really benefit from it.
My favorite part of the trip was definitely the homestay. I had a wonderful family. I think it's a great opportunity that our sensei, Mr. Van Cray, gives us by letting us stay with a family for a couple days, because that's how we experience the culture firsthand. We get to use what we know over Japanese, put it to practice, see if it works, see what doesn't work, and change it, make it better. It's a wonderful experience that I had. My host family was amazing. They treated me very well, and it goes the same for all of my other friends and classmates who had the same experience as me. I think it's amazing to get to know a culture through a family, and family values. You learn the cultural values, and you grow very close to that family in just those few days. It's tough to say goodbye in the end, but with technology, thank God we can stay connected. I would definitely love to go back and visit my host family again. I think they're so kind, and they just welcome you in such an awesome way that you just don't want to leave. As bad as that sounds for our families here, but it was definitely a wonderful experience, and I think it has changed me a lot. It has given me a new perspective of family, of what it is to be united, of what it is to value our culture through our ancestors, through our family members. It has been a wonderful experience, and I thank, first of all, Mr. Van Cray for making it possible for me, for the school, for helping me, for all those people who helped us fundraise to make the trip happen, and of course to my classmates who have been wonderful and have been like family to me after this trip. And I wish the same for every single student that comes after our trip. So for 2013 trip, 2014, I don't know what's next. But I think just like we did, they're going to have a magnificent experience, and they'll get to see the beautiful things that Japan and the Japanese culture have to offer. Thanks.